Today is June 15th, and we asked you guys to call in and let us know how you're feeling, and I am interested to see what you say. So let's do it. Let's talk a little bit about the Yankees.
Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY Jake. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. A little midweek episode, and we have some voicemails that I'm excited to hear. My name's Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD in the corner, brought to you by DraftKings. You buying or you selling? We asked you to tell us. Jake, how you doing?
James, Davis, everyone with us right now. Huge. Season starts today, opening day for the New York Yankees. Waited 8 months for this. Excited, geared up to go. And yeah, we were sitting around yesterday and we said, should we get our WFAN on? Should we let the people let it rip a little bit? So interested to see what you guys have in store on us. We kind of wanted people to run hot. Because the Yankees haven't run hot in a little while. Ever since they had that 19-6 stretch and they were winning all those series, they've been back down in the dumps. And it's fight or flight time, as we talked about on the last episode. Toronto Blue Jays in Buffalo, and their bats are hot as hell. The Oakland Athletics come to town. They've been leading the AL West for pretty much all season. We are in it. We are going to find out a lot about this team in the next few weeks leading up to the All-Star break. So excited to see where you nut jobs are at.
BBD, how are you?
Doing well. Had to listen to a lot of voicemails this morning.
Yeah.
A lot of you called in, so not all of you are in here, and I'm sorry.
How many think we got? 50?
Yeah, that feels conservative.
Nice. Good for you guys. Thank you very much for calling in.
So
We also
thanks
have
for participating.
We also have a sharp stats. Should we do the sharp stats first, then get into the crazy?
The sharp stats is positive. So I don't know if you want to clean it up at the end.
End on
And
that.
on a high note, and with some sharp stats. Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. We also just had MLB release all their sanctions about sticky stuff and the new rules. We will be discussing that on tomorrow's episode of Talkin' Baseball, and Trev's away, so it's just Jake and I, so we'd really be having the same we're recording that right after this, so we'd really be having the same conversation twice. So
Call up Uncle Jeff, something like that.
It's going to be very interesting to watch Garrett Cole pitch.
Yeah,
and
Yankee pitcher,
some other guys.
every pitcher across the league, man. I mean, there's rumors. Obviously, Cole's been attached to all of this because he's kind of one of the biggest pitching names in baseball right now. But, yeah, I mean, get ready because, June 21, everyone's going to be watching. And if your spin rate is down, if you start having bad starts and your spin rate's not there, there's going to be a lot of finger pointing. It is going to be a baseball experience we haven't felt as adults. Like, there's been some comparison to steroids, and who are we talking to? Oh, Chris Rose. We did Talking Baseball yesterday with him, and he was like, you guys didn't fully appreciate what steroids was.
For sure.
And I was still a sports junkie at that age, but I was brainless. I was borderline not a human. I was basically a dog that just liked sports at that point in my life. That's following, I'm seeing some of my favorite star athletes at congressional hearings and shit. I don't know what it's all about. So this still feels like the tip of the iceberg. Like, I know this is a piece to the puzzle that's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting to see enforcement. It's going to be interesting to see who goes down with the ship. I saw, I'll give Pat Light a shout out. He was saying, if you're one of these young kids who's getting sent down after the game that all the teams do nowadays, why wouldn't you use it? And if you're good, you're good. If you get caught, you get 10 days of an MLB paycheck when you were supposed to get sent down anyways.
Well, I think because you get ejected from the game halfway through, they could check you before you come onto the mound. So then you could get ejected beforehand, black eye on your name, and if you do it like twice, the penalties increase. So
We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to it. If you're, I don't know, if you're a young buck looking to get more of a paycheck,
and they just announced that like whoever, there's going to be employees for each club that will also go down with you as well. So like if you come out of the bullpen with it, someone in the bullpen is going to get in trouble. So they're making it so that it's not just you. You take down employees
the ship
and stuff with you.
Clubbies get.
Yeah, no one did that in the steroids era. Oh wait.
Yeah.
And even if,
but they're monitoring this.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, man. We're entering the Wild West. Like, that's where...
I think we've been in the Wild West, and now they're trying to bring some law to Dodge.
Yeah, we'll see.
If nothing else,
the lawmen might get shot.
Assuming, I'm taking them at their word that they're going to enforce everything exactly how they're going to say. And it's kind of the most radical mid-season change in policy.
They should have done this at the start of the season, for sure.
It's like fucked up.
Like in sports.
They should have done this at the start of the season, for sure. They blew it.
Yeah. Waited out this year. I mean, it got too loud.
All right, we'll do that on Talking Baseball fully.
Yes.
Got a bunch of calls here. We got them in kind of a random order. Some are happy, some are bad. Let's see. They're brought to you by my favorite burger shop out there in Montclair, Stuffed Grass-Fed Burgers, 150 Valley Road. Really good burgers. I mean, I told you guys
I lunch there in a week or two, something like that.
Yeah, I might be going soon because my nephews, my sister, they live like right there,
right around the corner,
almost walking distance, which is nice. So tell Dan that we sent you, and tell him by using the secret password. You say JOMBOY, you get free fries. You say Jake Sucks, you get free fries. You order online, put in JOMBOY or Jake Sucks, all caps, you get free fries. Maybe I'll try a different burger because I always get the one I said last time, the brisket. They got a lot of good burgers.
Yeah, mac and sneeze. Didn't they bring some mac and sneeze?
Yeah,
to
they
the
brought
office?
mac and
that
cheese.
Was fantastic.
Yep, when they catered for us, really good. So stuffed grass-fed burgers, voted best burger in New Jersey. And look at the fries, man. Look at this shit. How good that looks. I'm kind of hungry right now. So milkshakes, fries,
milkshake.
Yeah. Mac and cheese egg roll.
Bring your tall friends. All tall people love milkshakes.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's science.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. So, stuffed grass-fed burgers in Montclair. JOMBOY, Jake Sucks, get your free fries with your burger. Let's go to this one is about why. Here we go.
Yo, guys, love the show. I think the Yankees should go after Charlie Blackmon. I think there's been a lot of talk about Trevor Story, and I'm not sure how realistic that is. But I think Charlie Blackmon's a good lefty contact hitter who would fit in with the Yanks, and I'm not sure how much the Rockies would want, but I know he's not having too great of a season, so maybe they could buy low on him. Thanks so much.
He's making a lot of money. I don't think he fits the budget. He's making $21 million this year, so you cut that into half or close to half, and you're looking at 10, get it down to maybe 8, and then he's got a player option for 2022 and 2023 that he's going to opt into. There's $21 million on the books next year, and then 10. So no, money doesn't work there.
No, Rockies would have to eat a ton. They're already eating a ton of Arenado, and by the way, Charlie Blackmon bad defensively. So, like, if you're picturing center field Charlie Blackmon, that guy hasn't existed for a long time. Even when he was out there, he was a bad defensive center fielder. Charlie Blackmon hasn't played center field since 2018, and it's one of the worst, like, negative defensive seasons at outfield. So, Chuck Nasty's out.
Out.
Shave the beard, too.
No. Clean up the hair. Wouldn't vibe.
Couldn't vibe. Maybe it'd be like a Steve the Pirate thing.
Well, I think it's easy on the buy end. I think you have to look.
He just goes to. I was going to try and change his name to something because Blackmon sounds like a pirate.
Yeah.
Like Blackbeard. Clean Mon. Shaven Mon.
Well, I think it's easy on the buy end. I think you have to look at Ketel Marte. You can play the outfield, play second base, give you a little diversity in the lineup, switch hitter as well. Adam Frazier, you can probably get him for the cheaper price, leading the National League in hits.
So you get a little contact into that lineup. But on the sell end, I think you have to look at Gary or maybe even a Zach Britton, so I can get a decent amount of pieces for them. And especially with this whole Gary relationship over the last couple of years, you know, his name has been written in trade rumors for quite a while. So I think now is about time if selling is the case. But hopefully it's the buy end.
All right, so he wasn't saying do the same thing. He's saying
Right.
if it's buy, he likes Adam Frazier. For those that aren't familiar with Adam Frazier, he is at the tail end of his contract. He makes $4.3 million, so like money wise, he would be fine. How is mixed Frazier and Reynolds on the Pirates? Which one?
Reynolds is a center fielder. Frazier plays primarily second base. He's popped out to the outfield a couple times. I mean, he's played 63 innings at center field. I mean, they're smattered over the course of like 2016 to 2019. It's not his A position. That would be one I'd have to ask Pirate fans, you know, kind of the fly ball test the Yankees are doing right now. Could he play a better center field than Aaron Judge? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy he's a good kind of contact hitter that the Yankee fans think they want. 281, 344, not a ton of pop, 764 OPS. Having a good year this year, leading the NL in hits and doubles. So yeah, it's a trade piece.
He's played center field, but not for 3 seasons. And like even when he did play, it was like how Judge plays center field.
Yeah, I mean, to picture him being the center field solution, doesn't seem
He can play left field but then
If you're in a pinch, yeah, he can go there. But.
And that's where things for me have been and sit at Ketel Marte, and I think we're gonna find out. Things that should scare you is I think there's going to be a bidding war for Ketel Marte. There's a lot of teams that are looking for center field, and there's probably teams that would also play him at second or short if they need to, or just want him as a util weapon. Again, these guys kind of don't exist. Ketel Marte is kind of a unicorn, and in 29 games this year, he was hurt for a little bit. He's been raking. 2019 with the turbo balls, he had a huge year. He's making $6.4 million this year, so you do a little more than half. You're under 3, so he fits.
Dude,
Man,
could the Giants be in on Adam Frazier? They need a second baseman.
seems like a guy that always fits. Seems like a Giants
Feels like
guy.
the right vibe.
Yeah.
Seems like hang out with Talkman and get thorough about it, but I don't know. There's going to be a lot of teams on Ketel Marte, and you know, Yankee fans, if you're a prospect hugger that's saying go get Ketel Marte, you're going to be giving up dudes. You're going to be giving up 4 dudes who are probably guys you're stoked on.
Well, that's where the conversation between buy or sell
Waldichuk.
is, are you a prospect hugger or not? Because if
Right.
you're buying to compete this year, you are giving up prospects.
Yes.
You have to buy. You can't half-ass the buy, so you have to get rid of a lot of names.
Well, the other option that we talked about last episode, and I referenced the Joel Sherman piece, would be the Yankees just keep doing Hail Mary.
That's not like a buy, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a
Band-Aid.
sell, you know?
It's
I
I think they need to do
not
one or the
selling
other.
more than it is buying.
Yeah.
I think they will do that,
Yeah.
but I don't think they should half-ass. They either buy or you got to sell.
Well, and that's where, you know, when we talk about some of these moves, you mentioned it with Blackmon first thing, like, Yankees aren't factoring in Charlie Blackmon for $20 million as part of their team next year. Ketel Marte, he's got team options, which are, it's 8.4 next year, no team option. 2023 is 8. 2024 is $10 million, and that's his age 30 season. So if he's a solid ball player, which it looks like he is, and he's versatile. So if the Yankees have other plans for, if Aaron Hicks comes back next year, or whatever it is, if you're moving pieces, Ketel Marte becomes kind of a power piece for you. He's when you move the pawn across the chessboard and he can turn into whatever piece you want. Switch hitter. I mean, he would be the go piece if the Yankees do it. But, man, you're going to be saying goodbye to guys you like. Probably guys you already like. There could be a Davey in there. I mean, you could be seeing some of the other, I don't know, if you're a prospect hugger, you can get into the deep cuts, but there's going to be bodies.
Yeah, Marte, he's versatile in that he's a switch hitter, and he plays all 3 up the middle positions right now, and can certainly slide to a less difficult position if you need him there. He's on at least 2 years of manageable salary. It's a pricey trade.
You're going to be competing with a lot of other teams, so.
What about
Every team could use that.
Yeah.
what about if they are selling to sell Gary?
Who?
He not making a lot of money, only $6.3 million, and you'd get him for next year too. Is there an AL team out there that has a DH spot open that could platoon him, that would buy in on him? We just want his bat. We believe in it. And next year he's, catching position sucks. There might be a team out there that says that. Who's a team in contention who doesn't have any DHs?
Man, it's that's where things enter really cloudy territory for me, because you hear about it in football a lot, like teams won't trade in division. Man, if they trade Gary to an AL team and say it's, like the contenders right now is a team like the White Sox. And right now they've got a bunch of injuries, so they've got guys rotating in at DH. But, I mean, if the Yankees trade with the White Sox, I don't know.
They'd be selling.
I don't know. That's where I think Cashman would be covering his ass a little bit, and it would have to be, to an NL team. I don't think Cash would even risk that.
And then would an NL team pick up Gary?
To not have the option of DHing. I
mean, we do it on here a lot. Gary Sanchez in the catching world is...
Compared to catchers, yeah, he's not... And especially coming off a hot month right now, and if you kind of want to buy into that.
The Yankees would also need to have their counter move, just at the MLB catching level. They're not very deep.
But it also gets tricky.
They'd go pick up.
I don't think they
in the minors.
I don't think they would, because I don't think you get anything much of a return for Gary.
I agree with that.
And because the conversation, if the season ended now, and we were talking about are the Yankees going to pick up Gary's contract, it would be close. I think Gary's going to be on path for $8 million next year, and his catching numbers are kind of in that realm. So it's just, that would be kind of a coin flip decision. So a team that gets him wouldn't be guaranteed to keep him next year. So Gary is out. Relief pitching, and I'm sure there's more relief pitching to come up. There's always teams that are looking for relief pitching around the deadline. So I think anyone in the bullpen, if the Yankees were to struggle the next few weeks, those guys are ready to go.
Yeah.
Bags packed.
Hey, guys. This is Alex from Boston. Big fan. First-time caller. If they sell, I think that the Yankees should certainly get rid of should certainly sell and get what they can for Green, Britton, and Chapman. But I also think they should really consider selling Gleyber Torres to see what they can get, because ultimately I don't think they believe that he's the answer at shortstop. I think that there's a big crop of shortstops in free agency, and you've got DJ locked into second base for the coming years. I don't think his value plays at first base. So, I love Gleyber. I don't think he's a huge part of the big problem, but, Gleyber. Discuss.
Discuss.
Good idea.
Yeah, no, I don't know. He's got this year and 3 more years left. There's too many years left. Whatever you get for Gleyber now, you can get for him with 2 years. All the teams that sell all the time, the A's, the Rays, the Indians, they don't sell this early on a guy unless it's Josh Donaldson being mean to Billy Beane, so he trades him to Toronto because his feelings were hurt. But it's too early. Gleyber can play himself into such bigger value if you have to move him around. There's just so much time left, and it's not like if you want to sell him for the last 2 years. I believe in Gleyber that he's not going to be not around. Do you get what I'm saying? So if in 2 years, if you have to sell Gleyber, still cheap and controllable.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a deadline deal. That would be reshaping a team. Even if the Yankees sell at this deadline, it's to compete next year. It's, if you go back to 2016, it's the Chapman for Gleyber trade. You're doing moves like that. It's the Yankees. I'll do some spoiled Yankees where we're talking about if they're going to sell at a trade deadline. A normal team rebuilding, we just talked about Marte. Jake Snakes, the D-backs, are in a bad place. Dodgers are stacked. Padres are stacked. Giants look really good. They've got money coming off the books. They could be a problem for the next few years. Like, the D-backs are going to be in a rebuild. The Yankees are in a how do we set ourselves up for next season? So if that happens, Gleyber's just not a part of that.
Yeah. I like what you're saying. That's a teardown.
Yeah.
That's not a quick rebuild.
Like, if you think the Yankees have a chance to be good in 2023, which we do.
We do.
Gleyber Torres should be a part of that.
You're selling to try to get pieces who are either going to be here for those last 2 years of Gleyber's deal or for prospects that are going to bring.
Yeah,
you're going to flip them again to upgrade.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Gleyber's still on
Something
the
like that.
long-term timeline.
Gleyber kind of good.
Your guy, Freight Train.
Hey guys, I just think that the Yankees should probably just trade some relievers like Chapman and Chad if they continue to play like this. I think they're just waiting to get O'Day and Severino back, but obviously Sevy got hurt, and then they were going to try to get like Marte or Davey Peralta from Jake Snakes. I don't know though. Just let me know what you think. I think if they play like this, they'll be sellers. All right, guys.
Okay, so a little conflicted there. If they were buyers, he thinks that O'Day, Savvy, the injury list returns plus Peralta. But if they continue to play how they are, I believe sellers, which I think is a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I don't. Besides the Peralta thing, just like obviously, if they continue to play how they are, they're sellers.
Peralta's an interesting guy. You've probably heard Joe's McFly talking about him a little bit. He's a lefty bat. He's got both a Gold Glover and a Silver Slugger in a bag in separate years. A lifetime 288, 343, 814 OPS. Like, that's a guy that, your team falls in love with when he's been with Arizona for 8 years. Like, that's a dude you love. He is coming up on free agency. I guess, Jim, and maybe this is the conversation, like, what does David Peralta do for the Yankees right now? And I mean,
Plays left field.
but then what happens to Andujar, who's been kind of like nice? Is he going to be in one of these trades? Like, I guess that's the conversation. And I mean, Peralta would be a rental, so I think Andujar's value right now is over.
You get him for next year as well.
You get him for next year as well?
Yep.
Earliest rated, so he's 7.5 next year. So I guess that's what I would tell Yankee fans. Like, if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to trade Andujar and the resurgence and all these nostalgic feelings that you might be feeling for a year and a half of David Peralta, who's 33, is going to be 34 next year in left field. If you're willing to do that, okay.
Yeah, I wonder what he would need in a trade for them. Everyone wants like 6 guys now,
Right, they want.
And I don't know if the D-backs want MLB ready guys.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess they'd ask for Andujar and then like 3 bodies. Or 2 bodies. He's older and has 1.5 years left. But yeah, if you're the D-backs, I mean, you take the upside of Andujar when he hits.
Yeah.
And he's under contract till 2025. So yeah, I mean, that's a when you're in the shower, you're talking to the mirror. If these Yanks show a little life, it's an interesting one.
I like Andujar's bat.
Yeah.
I wish Stan could just play the goddamn outfield and Andujar could get some reps at DH and first base or some shit.
Ain't that it?
Seems like a much easier way to construct the team.
You mean the MVP that played the outfield for a National League team?
Gold Glove finalist.
It's really annoying. Here's the voicemail I think we're going to skip real quick, but I'll play it.
Pretty much, this is Ruben. My idea is we need to get Ketel Marte and also get Adam Frazier and trade a few guys away. There's a few guys in this team that doesn't have really any regular playing time that should be elsewhere. And also get rid of Boone and Timms. Give us, Buck, please. Buck Showalter would be great. And also, who knows, maybe Beltran as a hitting coach. I don't know. Anyways, go Yanks.
It was just labeled higher Buck and Beltran on my end, so I didn't know he had the other stuff that I don't disagree with, but...
Can I say something?
Yeah.
That's a hot voicemail, obviously coming in and saying, like, fire Fire the coaches.
Yeah.
Go trade a bunch of guys. But I liked his demeanor and the way it is about it, and the fact that it's Buck. Oh.
He thought about it.
And I like that Beltran is hitting coach, like resurgent baseball Beltran. Like, there's some juice there. It's a hot voicemail.
Yeah, I don't know about
It's a hot voicemail.
Don't take Buck out of the booth. I don't know. You should have. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. This is a different one.
I think the Yankees need to buy. And who's the guy they need? They need an outfielder. They need Ender Inciarte. Period. Bye.
It's a fun voice. It's a fun fake voice. Sounds like the guy from Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is that voice.
Did
Did you call in
Yes.
and use that voice?
Back in my day. If you're not familiar with Ender,
Why the fuck would they go get Ender Inciarte?
if you're not familiar with Ender Inciarte, lefty hitting outfielder on the Braves, he is a defensive specialist.
Hitting is pretty nice for you to say. Lefty outfielder on the Braves.
Lefty outfielder on the Braves. Yeah,
He'd be the worst hitter on the team
in
if
three
he got added today.
in 3 years.
And that's saying a lot.
When he's racked up a full season of at bats, he's won Gold Glove. So he's a defensive specialist. I mean, basically what you'd be taking a chance on there is that he finds his stick, because the last 2 years he's been atrocious. He is a 281 lifetime hitter, 718 OPS, but that's a light hitting guy. He does play a Gold Glove defense, so I mean, it almost turns into.
You're not going to pay $4 million for a glove for a rental glove.
No, I mean it's a team option for next year. I guess if the Braves ate money and he becomes almost an outfield version of Echeverria.
Yeah.
But that's kind of
it. Move on.
Hey guys, it's Julian Cunningham, big fan of your stuff. Jake sucks, obviously. I was just wondering, do you think that Clint could find himself being part of a trade package? He obviously hasn't done well recently. Feels like he's never quite gelled with the Yankees, and maybe a change of scenery could be good for him if we were to want an outfielder in return, whether that's Ketel Marte, whether that's Starling Marte, whether that's some other guy. And Clint wouldn't be seeing much playing time. Do you think that he could find himself as a trade chip, or is his value too low right now? Thanks, guys. Go Yanks. Hope we pick it up.
Thank you, JC. It's Julian Cunningham.
JC.
It's a good question. If a character's named JC in a young adult book, it's usually Jesus Christ figure.
It's a love maker.
Clint's got 3 years after this year, so his value right now is not even getting playing time on his own team, because he's bottom 5 in outfield defense and bottom 5 hitting for all outfielders. So, no team is picking Clint up for this season or even next season probably, but there is probably a team out there that says, well, those last 2 years we might be able to ease his mind, get some things going, get him in a better comfort zone, get him in a change of scenery, and those last 2 years we might be able to really get something out of him. It wouldn't be the main piece in a trade, I don't believe.
No,
they shopped him hard in 2019, and no one bit.
Yeah, and that's where I'd love when we corner Cashman in a bar one day and have some real conversations, because, Clint was good last year, 905 OPS. If you do his last 163 games, which is the last 3 seasons now, it's a 109 OPS plus, which is okay, 25 home runs in a full baseball season, but for the way he plays defense, that's not enough. So, yeah, I mean, are there teams out there that definitely believe in the potential of Clint's stick? Yes. Are all of those teams worried about Clint defensively? Absolutely. So, if Clint Frazier found himself in a trade this year, I think it would almost be a disguise. Like, if, let's say the Yankees, let's say they're selling or something like that. Here's my example, and I'll let you guys spin it however you want. When the Yankees traded back for David Robertson, the piece was Tommy Kahnle. That would be the Clint trade. It would be Clint Frazier, former prospect, legendary bat speed's coming over. But if he was getting traded, maybe with Chad Green or something like that. And the other team would be oh yeah, I've seen Clint Frazier, I've seen the shoe stuff. And then on Talkin Giants or whatever team they traded to, they'd be Chad Green's a piece. That guy's a stud in the bullpen. So there would either be some cover-up like that. I mean, the Yankees, if you're wondering why the Yankees haven't sent Clint down this year, it's because he has an option, and I think they're going to hold on to that. So interested to see his value. I guess what we always come back to with a lot of trade talks is Clint's value is close to an all-time low right now, so it's tough to see them punting on that. All-time low. We're all-time low with Zach Esposito. All-time low, Zach Esposito.
It is an actual band.
Pre-game show.
Zach can
coming
open
up
for
tonight.
them once. Yeah, Clint's value is pretty low. He doesn't start on his own team. A guy who started playing the outfield 6 months ago is getting starts in the outfield over him.
Gotta hit.
Yeah.
You hit, you play. You ain't hitting.
All right, next up. I don't know if I want to skip any. I don't know if you want to look at the list here and pick and hunt. We got a lot.
What's going on, guys? My opinion on the entire thing is I think it's time for Cashman to stop being so stingy with the prospects that we have. I understand wanting to keep guys like Dominguez and stuff, but I think it's time we move on from some guys and get some MLB-ready players. I think a team like Cincinnati would definitely take on some mid-level prospects, maybe try to get a Jesse Winker over here, and that would be nice. Thanks, guys.
Oh, man, I think the Reds believe in themselves. They just got over 500. We'll see how their next 25 games go before the All-Star break and closer to the deadline. But I think the Reds are believing in themselves right now. So, and even if they don't believe in themselves for this season, I still think they believe in this like kind of window and unit they have and Winker they have for the next 2 years. So, because if the Reds decide that they're going to do a 3-year turnaround or like, we're not going to compete next year, then they could sell a lot of guys. But they kind of, I think the Reds believe in themselves. They have Winker for 3 years. They have Votto, Castellanos, Moustakas, Sonny for the next year. Eugenio. So yeah, I think the Reds believe in themselves.
And the bigger thing, Winker doesn't solve their problems. Winker's a terrible defensive outfielder. Second percentile in outfield jump. Like, it's not a solution to this team's problems. Sure, it's a nice bat, and again, it goes back to the Andujar Peralta situation. And sure, to get that left-handed bat in the lineup, absolutely. But of the current problems that need to be addressed for the Yankees, that doesn't do anything. He's an awesome lefty bat. He's one of the probably underrated, really good lefty bats. So yes, that would change in the middle of the Yankees lineup. But for what you're giving up,
he did just surpass Clint in outfield. Clint is now the second worst outfielder in MLB, and Jesse is the third.
Not bad.
Gino's first. It makes me sad.
Is it someone old?
No.
Oh.
I don't know his age, but you wouldn't think of him as old.
Okay.
I
don't know.
He has a ton of bloopers. He had one yesterday. He's in the AL East.
Santander. Who's your guy? DJ Stewart?
DJ
Yeah, he
Stewart.
fell the other day. Yeah.
He's always the bottom.
That adds up.
But yeah, Clint is second worst. And a good jump. Those two. Jesse is negative 2.8 and Clint's negative 3.3. So a 0.5 jump. And then DJ Stewart's negative 3.4.
It's what I was going to say. Winker, he hits enough that you could play him in left field and you'd live with the defense, but his defense is any given day just as bad or worse than Clint's. Day in, day out, it's about the same. You pick your defensive metric, and Clint has the edge on some. Winker has the edge on some others. DRS likes Clint more. UZR likes Winker more.
He's an awesome hitter.
But the hitting's really good. So, yes, if you had him, you would deal with the defense. But
we got three, next two here, Jock, Joey, Jock or Gallo? Which voicemail do you want to listen to?
Not Gallo.
Jock.
Jock's on the Cubs. They're in first place.
Yeah, okay. Gallo.
Hey, Jakey. Hey, Jim and David. You guys are looking for potential trade targets. It's Nate, by the way. First thought, maybe Gleyber Torres. We could get rid of him, get a more reliable shortstop such as Trevor Story, blah, blah, blah. I think Gleyber's the guy. He's been the guy for a while. He's not going anywhere. But we are looking for some pieces in center field, maybe. don't want old man guard Doug going out there every single day. Looking for a better hitter than him, maybe Joey Gallo as a cheaper option, more expensive for maybe Marte. Those are the two guys I've been seeing flying around the Bird app. Those names. It's about it. Maybe give a little discussion there. All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right, so Joey Gallo. He can play center field. He played like 38 games out of the 60 last year for the Rangers in center field. If Stanton ever got healthy enough in the postseason to play left, that would have to be the tallest outfield ever assembled.
Big boys.
3 tight ends playing outfield for the Yankees. But
that'd be a good shirt. Maybe we'll do a Talkin' Yanks, Talkin' Giants cross promotion shirt.
Yeah.
Tight end outfield.
Gallo's got a year and a half. So if the Rangers decide they're selling pieces, if they decide, yeah, we're going to trade Gibby, we're going to trade some other people. Isn't Ian Kennedy having a really good year for them? Someone going to go get him?
He's closing, I think. Feels like a piece that gets moved.
And he's a free agent, so that feels. So if they do, we don't understand the Rangers as a even Trevor. I've never understood they should have done this a while ago, but so I don't think they're going to trade. But yeah, Gallo's only got this year and 1 year left. So if you could get a package for him, and they didn't trade Lance Lynn at the deadline because they valued him too much last year, and then they traded him in the offseason, and they kind of got who they wanted anyway. So I don't know if they're going to trade Gallo, just the Rangers as an organization. But now if he was available, would you like him as a fit for the Yankees? He could play center field, but the offense is, as feast and famine as it comes.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like the perfect fit. Here's what I'll say that I think fans could get excited. Like, I think Joey Gallo could finish out a season in center field. He gets a good jump. He's got good outs above average. His sprint speed is similar to Judge. It's, guys won Gold Glove for playing right field. He's an athlete similar to Judgy. So if we do that in the outfield, it's kind of, at least I could walk away saying, like, this is the Yankees analytics and front office, like, last stand on their hill. If we bring in someone like Joey Gallo and he's the lefty bat, and we're looking around, and man, the Yankees would officially look like a video game team if you went around the horn with the Yankees, and it was Gary, Voit, DJ, Gleyber, Gio, Andujar, Gallo, Judge with Stanton DHing. I can buy into that. The package would be really interesting. The Texas Rangers love, and their fans love Joey Gallo. In a similar ilk to Judge. He's been their Judge. He hasn't been as good at baseball as Judgy. I don't know. Like, obviously, he's not the guy I'd want as the perfect fit. But if Joey Gallo came to the Yankees and we were doing that, hey, let's race to the office and go live, I'd be fucking hyped, man.
Yeah. I mean, he's his last 25 games, the stats are good, so he's picking it up after a slower start. His last 25 games, he got a 902 OPS with 5 homers and 2 doubles, but it's a little feast or famine.
Oh, it's big time. You'd get another player that drives your uncle nuts. So that's a good.
And
news.
Maybe me sometimes.
A lot of highs, a lot of lows.
Yeah. It's really funny looking at Chris Carter's numbers, and they're better than like current Yankees right now from 2017.
Pick them up.
Just saying how bad they are. Like Chris Carter in my head was like, that was the worst 3-month stint ever.
Yeah, I mean,
because it was feast or famine. Like, but he did get, some hits.
That was also
8 homers.
That was also Turbo Ball season, where we're in the year of the pitcher right now. So much they're cracking down on everything. So there's a little juxtapositions there.
All right. Well, speaking of Judge, I'll just jump to this one.
Oh boy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Big fan. Name is Joe from Long Island. I really think this team needs a complete overhaul. There's too many big bats, too many big guys. I really think we need some more base hit hitters. The first guy I'd trade is, unfortunately, Aaron Judge. I think you can get a lot for him. And, I think we can bring back some big pieces. And even trade Aroldis Chapman. He's having a great season. just a few hiccups here and there, but that's my opinion. So if you guys, I just big fan of the show. Appreciate it. Bye.
All right, man. No, this is where people become fans of like UTPA and like running a team more so than cheering on a team. I know Judge gets hurt a lot, but no, that'd be like the Red Sox trading Mookie and Mookie was more consistent, but like just like a dagger to like, oh, what the fuck? And he's got 1 year left after this year. So I don't even really know how much you'd get. You'd get a decent amount because it's Aaron Judge, but you're not guaranteed to re-sign him like you were Mookie. No. Just I get it. Logistically, if you take away any ties, if a arbiter came in and did not know anything about the Yankees and we're just looking at numbers and names on a book and stats, and you were saying, hey, you could probably get a lot for this guy if you wanted to part ways. But that's not how like fandom works for me.
Right.
But I understand the math behind it. If it was a blind situation, just if you plan on winning next year, which we think is the plan,
right?
Judge has to be part.
Yeah, and unfortunately the Boston comparison doesn't work out great because they look good right now, and yeah, I haven't heard a lot of Mookie complaints out of Boston, but
but I was just saying trading a favorite player,
right? Yeah, it's
and they're not supposed to be good. They were supposed to do a 3-year rebuild.
They're at least a year ahead of schedule, but
yeah,
can be.
No, I mean I'm obviously out on this, and part of that does feel like the easy answer, and even when you mention UPA, no, it doesn't make sense. I mean, what you get back, no, because you're getting back prospects. I mean, you're not getting dudes that are promised anything. So I mean, even if you get a package of 4 really nice prospects, okay, so 2 of them might pan out. And are any of them Aaron Judge? No. So, yeah, you gotta believe in something. That's what I say.
I guess the term sell is people are thinking of it differently. Sell to me, I'm not saying rebuild.
Right.
And you pointed this out earlier in the show. Just for next year.
Well, that's where things get...
And even Chapman's on the books next year. So I still don't know if I'd do that. You have to get a really good return.
Right. And that's where things get tricky because when we've talked about the Yankees trade options and things like that, a lot of these guys are on the books, man. So that's where I don't know how real the sell is unless the Yankees like really rock bottom out the next few weeks. Because then does that bring the Urshela's and Voits into play? I don't know. They're part of next year's plan.
If you had to choose one of those, it would be Voit because you can move DJ then the first. You have him for so long.
He's locked up.
And then you can slide Gleyber to second, and then you can address that somewhere else at shortstop, or at least have the fluidity of the infield back. So if you had to choose one of those guys, I think it would be Voit. But, yeah, the more we're talking about this, the more I don't want to trade pieces. So that sucks. I hope they just get good again.
Yeah.
I think this year... Whatever. It would be tough. They're so bad.
Need a hot streak, baby.
What's today's date? The 15th?
Today's the 15th. With Judge specifically, and the Yankees named a section of seats after him, which the Yankees don't do for anybody.
It's true.
So it would be even if it was more cut and dry.
That would be a sad day.
Remember when they asked Cash if he was going to trade Gleyber, and he said, I still got to walk around this city. A little bit like that. All right, well, the lines just came out from DraftKings for the Yankees-Blue Jays game tonight, so I will let you know what they are and how the public is betting, and if you want to get in on the action, you can download the DraftKings app, and you can use promo code JOMBOY when you do. They have their own special where if you bet $1 on any basketball team playing, you can win $100 in free credits, but let's look at the Yankees-Blue Jays line tonight. It's Ryu versus Monty, right?
Double check.
I think it's Ryu versus
Monty.
Monty.
They gave Ryu the pill. Blue Jays probable starters. We know it's Monty It's Ryu. Ryu, then Stripling, and then TBD.
So Blue Jays are the favorite. It's run and a half. 95% of the money so far on the DraftKings Sportsbook is on the Blue Jays to win. But only 57% of the bets.
Shekels.
But all the big money's on the Blue Jays. Should I do the over-under or should I save it for pregame show?
Feels like you're looking at be a good teaser for the pregame show.
Teasing it. We'll do the over-under then. Man, Blue Jays are negative 124. Blue Jays are the favorite tonight. So if you want to go bet on that, dude, the Yankees are the second worst team at covering. Remember I said that last episode? I was just guessing.
Makes sense.
The Twins are the worst. Because the Yankees only win by one run when they win.
Teams expected to be good that haven't been good.
Yeah. So, and in baseball, you got to win by 2 runs really to cover if you're the favorite. So even when they are the favorite, they just don't cover. So,
do they have a lot of 1-run wins?
Did you see their baseball reference chart? That I think you can see it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Finish the ad.
Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOMBOY when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 in free credits. Bet on the basketball team of your choice to win their next game. And if you do, they will claim $100 in free credits. That's promo code JOMBOY for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or PA. Only new customers, only wager paid on site. Credits restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Another voicemail. Did you look at their 1-run record at all?
Yeah, the Yankees are 8-7 in 1-run games. The Red Sox are 12-6 in 1-run games. The Blue Jays are 5-7. It's there.
All right. I got a lot to choose from, so we'll do this one.
D-backs 2-14.
Hey guys, it's Lou in New York. So here's who I think we should trade for from teams that I think will be selling. So Diamondbacks, Kettle Marte, David Peralta, Orioles, Cedric Mullins or Freddie Galvis. The Rangers, I like Adolis Garcia or Kyle Gibson. I don't think Gallo makes a lot of sense. He strikes out a lot. It'll take a ton to get him. The Rockies, German Marquez or Ryan Meltapia. And then the Marlins, Corey Dickerson. So, who we might need to sell. It'd be great to get rid of Aaron Hicks, clear up some cap. We probably have to attach some prospects if we get it done. It could be time for a fresh start for Frazier or Andujar. And then, get some of these deals done. We probably have to move some prospects. Some might be Davey Garcia, Clark Schmidt, maybe Luis Medina, or Estevan Florial. That's what I think. Let me know what you think.
That one section, that voicemail was pretty good besides the one section where he just said trade all the bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to take on Hicks?
Tack on prospects to Hicks. Yeah, I don't know.
Galvis was interesting. He gets a big bonus if he gets traded. He just straight up hasn't been hitting. The only way I see something like that happening is if Voit comes back, gets injured again, out for the season. DJ goes the first, Gleyber goes the second, and you want a shortstop at the deadline. But other than that, he's not hitting, so not really a help.
No.
Is there anyone there? Gibby. I think there's going to be other teams that will give up way more than the Yankees for Gibby.
It's just not a priority.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if these Yankees commit to winning going forward, they probably still look for a flyer, starting pitching arm. Where are you, Jhoulys Chassin? We talked about you a lot. But yeah, if the Yankees end up back in this and they're competing, they're going to say Kluber will be back in August, and that's who they're looking at as their trade deadline piece.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to do like a one that's just bad, or do you want to skip it? Because I have one here that.
How bad? Are we going to be like mad? Are we going to be sad? Are we going to be?
I think kerfuddled. Befuddled? Confused? Befuddled?
Kerfluffled. What's the words? I think there's kerfuffle and there's befuddled.
Yeah.
But I like mixing them.
Kerfuffle is
It's like a little mix-up.
Yeah.
There's a little kerfuffle on the mound. Befuddled is like, whoa.
Yeah, I can just...
But I like mixing them.
Okay. Here. I'll just play it. Hopefully it's short.
How's it going, Jimmy, Jake, Big Booty David? My name is Eamon from Santa Barbara, and I think the Yankees need to get Miles Straw from Houston. If we got rid of someone like Aaron Hicks, maybe throw in a little Luis Sessa, let's see what minor leaguers we can get from Houston. But I believe Straw is going to fill in some spots in the back of the lineup that really need to be filled in, and he'll bring consistency. So let me know what you guys think, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's got to be.
I don't think Houston and the Yanks are going to talk, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Also, appreciate the call. Maybe it's someone that doesn't know the back end money stuff. Miles Straw's 6 years.
Yeah.
Aaron Hicks. Miles Straw has 6 years, and 3 of them are at $500,000. Aaron Hicks has, 6 years, and all of them are at $10 million?
Something like that.
And then Sessa has 2 years, and he's not even a top-end reliever.
Yeah.
So.
Not looking great.
I think that's kind of it. We got one that's called Sell Chapman, Green, and Britton, one called Sell Urshela, one called Sell Voigt, one called Starling Marte. You want to listen to that?
Sure.
I think Starling Marte is a player that definitely needs to be looked at for the Yankees. I mean, he's dominating right now for Miami, batting .351 with a .443 on-base percentage. He's on the last year of his contract. He's 32 years old. The Marlins are not close to the playoff race, so I think definitely Starling Marte is a guy that could be bought for pretty cheap.
And he's a guy that's been traded at the deadline before. And yeah, he has got he was making $6 million, making $12.5 million this year, free agent next year. So it's a true rental, and you're paying $6 million. But yeah, he's having a hell of a season. What's he doing defensively these days? Center field.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I
don't know if they have the money. They'd have to have the Marlins eat some and give them prospect capital in return.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a rental. Yeah, the money would be just out of range. I mean, if you do a little over half the season by the trade deadline, you're looking at $5 million. Yanks have $4 million, so the money can work itself out. So you're paying for a rental, but a good rental at a valuable position, plus eating some money. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of prospect capital there. But man, I mean, Starling Marte, he's a guy. As I look at his baseball reference, I feel bad for the cities he's played in. I mean, this guy's racked up 32 career WAR. That's that's a really good baseball career, and he's 32. And he's still doing it. He's got 2 WAR this year. So yeah, I guess throw me in the Yankees mob. I can obviously get talked into Ketel Marte for the reasons I listed. Switch hitting, center field. He can also easily mold into the plans of the Yankees next couple years. Starling Marte, I mean, that adds the little bit of Jeter twist if we're getting real cute with it. And Jeter can plunder some of our prospects for the Marlins 2023 World Series run.
Dude,
yeah.
Starling Marte, first 18 days of the season, pretty good. .316 batting average, .420 on base percentage, .912 OPS. Really good numbers. He gets injured. He misses majority of May. Since coming back from injury, .368 batting average, .455 on base, 1 OPS. So there's going to be a lot of people coming for Starling Marte. The Marlins are going to be taking offers, and maybe the Yankees would have to offer. What are they interested in? Are they interested in not paying the rest of his contract and getting a couple prospects back? Or are they interested in helping the Yankees pay the contract, and then the Yankees would have to really send some big prospects back? Send Mike King and Domingo Harmon back. I'm just joking, but they came from there, so that was the...
Man, I mean, Starling Marte, the baseball savant is pretty. His outs above average are 90th percentile.
He's good.
His sprint speed is 83rd, so it's
He's going to be good, and it's something the Yankees really need.
And he's so there's I believe, Jim, and you could correct me, his wife passed, was it during COVID or was it due to COVID? I forget. It was a really sad story. It was,
I don't recall the cause, but yeah, she passed away last year.
Man, I don't know, if that's a guy you can root for whatever jersey he's wearing. And the Yankees kind of need a guy like that. So I don't know. I guess I'm lamestream media. Put me in the Marte bucket with everyone. Would you
I've heard the name, obviously.
Right. It's a little eye-opening.
But now looking at through it all, yeah, I'm kind of like, hey, if we're buying, go give up some prospects and give me, it's true rental, so don't give up anyone crazy, but
so I guess
try to get him.
That would be the question. It's you, me, and Cashman. We're still at the bar. We're having a nice time. And he's like, all right, you boys get to punch the trade. And it's either 2 pretty nice prospects for one, this half season of Starling Marte, or it's 3 to 4 prospects that are, probably the same 2 and 2 other guys we're familiar with, and you get Ketel. Which way would you lean? I know that's a loaded question.
Yeah, I didn't fully follow that.
It's a bigger prospect for Starling, or tighter one for a tighter package for Starling, a bigger package for Ketel.
Okay. You get Ketel for 2 years. And does he play center too?
Yep.
He does.
And he plays second?
Yeah, I think
What's his speed and defense on the measurements that I 75% believe
it
in?
Doesn't have all of them for this year yet. His outs above average last year was 80th percentile. His speed was 71. This year his speed is down, 44.
Not running that much.
But Ketel is an exit velo guy, which we know the Yankees are horny for. I kind of just fell in love with Starling, man.
Me too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Touch hands a little bit.
And I really don't want him to trade. I like the Yankees and I like the team. I just want him to be good. Fuck.
I mean, if you can pay a similar rental price for a guy like Starling Marte, feels impactful.
What did they trade for Kutch?
A prospect that we hadn't heard of before or since, if I remember right, but I'll find the name.
I mean, that's the last rental they went and got, right? Outfielder.
True rental position player.
They've done a lot, years before that, but I think he's the most recent because they didn't make trades the last 2 years. So 2018 was the last time they made a trade at the deadline.
They traded, and it was the waiver deadline. It was an August trade. Those are dead.
They got Edwin in 2019, right? But that wasn't at the deadline.
It was in June.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, hey, it's June.
Juan DePaula.
Punch it, babe.
And Abitel Avellino.
Ooh, Mr. Avellino, Mr. Bob.
What?
Avellino.
They got nothing?
Yeah, they traded. I think Avellino has played a handful of games for the Giants, and they might have non-tendered him or traded him, whatever it was. Hasn't played in the big since 19. 4 games in 2019.
And how much was he? He was making $11 million. How much is Starling Marte making this year?
I think it was 12.
And McCutchen in 2018 was making a 1-year $11 million deal, and now he's on the last year of a $12 million deal for Marte. So they're very similar.
I think the only slight twist would be McCutchen was coming down.
Yeah.
And Starling Marte is balling out. So
and it was a waiver trade. They waited until it was like a minute.
Means no one else
even
even wanted him.
They did
but
it. Yeah,
I think if
they're similar enough to compare.
If you can trade any prospect that you can look at face level and be like, this one's not going to haunt us, like, let's go. Call up Jeets, Cash. Your buddies. Call up Kim. He's friends with her.
He knows all of them.
They're all friends.
Kim Jeter, Denbo is running their system.
Gary,
he understands the Yankees. They took him from the
Yankees. And the San Francisco Giants ate some of his contract. So that's similar in that if they trade for Starling Marte, the Yankees have to eat, the Marlins have to eat some of the contract. And these two names that they traded for Kutch, now granted, Kutch was coming down and Starling Marte is coming up, so it's not you have to give more for Marte than you did for Kutch, but not crazy amounts more.
Like if Kutch is a 5 out of 10 on the scale, Starling Marte might be a 6 or 7.
And they traded a 20-year-old kid that's a non-prospect, still hasn't got out of A-ball in Juan De Paula, and then Abital Avellino,
your guy,
to like BBD said, he's pitched a little bit or hit a little bit, but
no big league games since he got a 4-game spurt in 19.
And I don't think he was ever a prospect.
No, he wasn't on like any top
Trade
30
prices are
list.
never as much as you think they're going to be.
Go get Starling.
So it's very comparable to that trade. Only you have to do more because he's going to be a hotter commodity. Obviously, Kutch didn't get traded at the deadline and then passed a lot of waivers to fall to the Yankees.
Yeah.
But
Kutch couldn't play center field anymore. But
they traded nothing for Kutch.
Yeah.
They got him because they wanted him.
They need to get more. They need to trade something. But all the names that we know, I don't even know if that you need. Though it could be prospects we don't know. That's wild. All right, we have a Sharp Stats real quick. We're gonna run long, but thank you very much for the voicemails. Here's the Sharp Stats real quick. It's a
hey
positive
guys,
one,
what's
apparently.
up? It's the Queen of Stats, Katie Sharp, back again. Another edition here. All right, so guys, yes, the Yankees' offense stinks. They're terrible. And while a lot of people are focusing on all those double plays that they're hitting into, I want to focus on what they're doing when they actually hit the ball in the air. Because it's not pretty. It's maybe even worse. And I think it's one of the most underreported
Did you go to the
parts
last?
of this failing.
My bad.
It could be my bad.
No. Or maybe it is your bad.
That was a sharp stat.
I think that was last week's. Let me check my spam folder because BBD is human spam.
Hey.
The one I sent you today is labeled correctly, and I don't think I just changed the label on last week's.
Okay. Wow.
But I could have.
Shots
I
fired.
really don't think I did.
This is...
Oh.
Hey
it's just in my
guys,
downloads,
it's the
not my
Queen of
desktop.
Stats. I'm here back. And you know what? I'm sick of losing, and I'm sick of saying all these bad stats. So I'm going to say something positive for once. Maybe give us a little 1 week break here. And that something positive is going to be about Miguel Andujar. And I think the big question about Andujar's season is he back to his 2018, Rookie of the Year, near Rookie of the Year form? And the quick answer to that is yes, and with the potential that he could be even better than in 2018. So if you look at his actual stats, like on the back of his baseball card, his batting average, his on base, slugging, his OPS, they're all much lower than 2018. Well, not much, but considerable amount. But if you look under the hood and you look at his StatCast metrics and his expected stats based on those StatCast metrics, such as exit velocity and launch angle, he's actually doing much better. So first, if you look at his actual stats this season compared to his expected stats this season, all of the expected stats are higher. That's awesome. If you look at his expected stats this season compared to his expected stats in 2018, they're all actually higher than in 2018. So, I mean, I also looked at exit velocity, his average exit velocity, the same as 2018. His hard hit rate actually higher this year than in 2018. And his sweet spot rate, which is kind of the percentage of batted balls that fall in that optimal launch angle, is actually the same as in 2018. So he's essentially the same or maybe even better hitter as 2018 this year, if you look at the quality of contact that he's making. So he has, I'm not going to guarantee that he's going to be better than in 2018 because that would be stupid, but he definitely has the potential to have a better season than 2018.
It's kind of cool that with the dead end balls and the different era of, 18 wasn't a juice ball year, but it wasn't the dead ball year, dead ball as well. So Miggy's swing, all I needed was some reps, man.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's the phrase I said numerous times was like, imagine if Miggy had that 2018 with the juiced up balls. That would have been like a 35 homer season. Like it, some of the stuff we'd say about Miguel Andujar would be pretty crazy. It's good, man. He looks like Miguel Andujar. The conversation turns into is, how much time can we give to let him learn left field and how far can he get with that? And, a lot of the trade conversation talk we just did, it's about value and gaining value and losing value. Like Miguel Andujar, his value's kind of back. It's something that was a dead commodity for a couple years. So, interesting. I'm glad he looks so good at the plate. And when he does, it's a fun watch. It's a fun watch. He wants to hit.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of good hitters nowadays that a walk is as good as a hit. Not for Miguel Andujar.
It's the opposite of Clint, where Clint's got the I can't pull the trigger. Andujar's like, I wish I couldn't.
Yeah.
Wish
chasing cars.
Safety's always on for Clint. Safety's never on for Andujar.
Be careful.
Yeah. Clint gets locked up. Andujar's just whoosh, whoosh. All right, let's guess the lineup and make ourselves mad for tonight's game. They're facing Ryu. The last 2 times they faced Ryu, Jay Bruce was in the lineup, so that's great
Bring him
news. All right, DJ LeMahieu will be leading off. Judge will be batting second, we hope. We hope.
That's going to be the big one.
Then Gleyber's been batting third, Stanton batting fourth, Gio batting fifth. That's kind of been locked in.
They've been into that when they've had a DH.
Okay. Now, I always think of Ryu. He's a lefty, so you don't need to slide Odor into the 3 or the 2 or the 5 hole, which is nice. They'll do the righty stack, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully no Odor. Start Gittins.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go Gary after Gio then.
I like it.
Then Andujar. Should they switch that up? Like, should Andujar or Gary be the 5-hole hitter and Gio drop down a little bit?
I would be fine with it.
I would be fine with it. I wouldn't really care.
Because I think Gio went 0 for last series. Didn't we look that up? Wasn't it 0 for 9?
I think he was
2
a
games.
sneaky 0 for 9, yeah.
2 games.
So do you just
Andujar and Gary are like hot. So I'd be fine with rewarding them.
So Gio is not unfamiliar with batting at the bottom of the lineup too. I don't think he'd be offended.
So if they don't change up like that stuff, then DJ, Judge, Gleyber, Stanton, Gio, Gary, Andujar, Gittins, Gardner.
Yeah. I'd like that.
But
the waiting game begins.
Yeah, Stan hasn't played in a while. Judge is back. Say Judge back hurt, then you have Clinton right.
Yeah. He hits 8th or 9th.
Yeah. Gio was on a little heater himself besides the last 2 games, though, so.
Yeah. He's looked like Gio.
The last 2 he combined in Philly, he combined for 0 for 11. Even with that, in the month of June, he's got an 844 OPS and a 298 batting average, so. They'll probably keep it the same, I'm guessing. Andujar's pretty deep there. But DJ, Judge, Gleyber, Stanton, Gio, Gary, Andujar, Gittins, Gardner. That's my best guess. We'll see what the fuck they do. It means no Wade, no Clint, no Higgy, no Odor. Against a lefty,
cool.
That's probably the way to go.
Cool beans, man.
We'll see you for the pregame show. Thank you very much. And go Yanks. Tell them, Gramps.
Oh, Yankees.